No, it isn't a spare room, it's my bedroom. And no, it's not a wardrobe, it's my closet. But I never know what I'm going to find when I open the door. Follow me and we'll explore mystic lands together. Whether it is just simple ignorance, selfish apathy, or superior arrogance, most don't even consider the effect of one industry on another, or the people around them. Take a brief drive through Pennsylvania's coal country and you will notice many quaint towns with many grand historic structures of the most beautiful architecture. Apply a little observation and you will notice most of these buildings are in decay and the towns in general are fallen into poverty. Now, apply some historical knowledge and intuition and you may begin to understand why. These towns flourished through the mining of black gold, coal. One of the industries whose success was spurred by the coal industry was the railroad, the primary transporter of this precious commodity. It should then be of no surprise that it declined with the coal industry as well. The following historical information, along with a few photographs, I pilfered and now plagiarize. While chartered in 1846, construction of the Lehigh Valley Railroad was delayed for lack of investment subscriptions until into the early 1850s, until an energetic businessman, Asa Packer, was elected to the Board of Managers, bringing inspired leadership for advancement. You can visit his mansion, now a museum and bed and breakfast in the town now renamed as Jim Thorpe. The LVRR was conceived with the idea of breaking the Lehigh Coal and Navigation Company's monopoly over bulk goods shipping on the Wyoming Valley, Lehigh, Delaware route, dominated on the Lehigh Canal from Whitehall down the river to Easton. The LVRR initially connected at Moss Chunk to the Beaver Meadows Railroad and extended to cross the Delaware just above Easton into Phillipsburg, New Jersey. There it connected to the Morris Canal, the Central Railroad of New Jersey, and two smaller railroads. This gave the LVRR passenger traffic from Philadelphia and Trenton and points south, from New York City and rail-connected New England communities, and freight traffic to and from all connected partners. Even before expanding northward to reach Wilkes-Barre, the LVRR had become the trunk line for shipping by rail in the entire Lehigh Valley. Shortly after purchasing the Penn Haven and Whitehaven Railroad, the LVRR completed its line to Wilkes-Barre in 1868. At that time, all industrial activity was powered in some form by coal, and the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton area was a center of the coal mining industry. The LVRR and its competitors expanded rapidly, and the LVRR needed a yard to handle the traffic. That yard was Doria Yard in Pittston, Pennsylvania. It was 7:25 on the evening of June 22nd, 1928. Bound from Detroit to Long Island, a solo pilot followed the Susquehanna River in his Ryan Brougham single-engine airplane. At a screaming 80 miles per hour, he looked for a break in the fog over the mountains that surrounded him. But the fog wouldn't quit, and it was dusk. So the pilot decided he had to put down and wait. But with no airfields around, where would he do so? Finally, seeing an opportunity, he ducked his plane under the power lines running across the river from the Exeter powerhouse to Campbell's Ledge, descended over South Pittston, and turned toward Coxton Yards. Doria patrolman Bill Clark saw the plane going down and headed that way. Lehigh Valley Railroad dispatcher Edward Reynolds saw it too. Seeing the plane land bumpily, but safely, in a Coxton Farms field, Clark abandoned his patrol car and he and Reynolds ran toward the plane. The pilot stepped out and announced himself to Clark and Reynolds and several other rail workers who were running toward the scene, saying simply, "Charles Lindbergh, where am I?" This, just 13 months after he had made himself an international celebrity with a solo flight across the Atlantic in the spirit of St. Louis. This photo of Charles Lindbergh, after his impromptu landing in Coxton in '28, was taken by an 18-year-old Josephine Knowles, who lived on Cliff Street in the Junction section of Pittston. She used a Kodak box camera to snap this photo of the famous aviator. Roundhouses like this one once dotted the state, servicing the many rail engines that consumed the same fuel they transported. Now, most of them also shared the same fate as this, in decay or completely gone. Very few have been lucky enough to have been repurposed, and even less to have remained in service to the railroad. I'll be quiet now so you can imagine this facility, full of engines, and the mechanics and rail workers servicing them.